Lewis. I help athletes prepare for a life of overseas basketball. And right now, overseas basketball is kicking my teeth in. Kicking my teeth all the way in. This life can be so mentally draining. It can be so mentally draining in this game, especially the game of overseas basketball. It can be so mentally draining because sometimes you get in situations where there's a lot of pressure on you. You say, well, you think about the Damian Lillard quote that one time. He was like, man, that's not no real pressure. The woman who needs to feed her family and her kids and this and that, that's real pressure. Well, I say this. Everyone has their pressures in life. As athletes, performing, that is the pressure that you have. You have to perform. Last night we had a game. We ended up losing the game by like 8. It was one of the craziest games that I've ever been a part of. Like this is our first game we lost at home. And it was difficult. I wouldn't even say difficult. I got in foul trouble early, so I didn't really get to play that much. And when I did, I kind of got out of rhythm. And I think that, but when you look at the statistics of the game, we outshot the other team by 30 shots. We beat them on every statistical stat, but we lost the game by 8, like 106 to 98, some crazy absurd number, and it's because they had a night. They shot 20 for 30 from 3-point line. That is astronomical to think that a team can shoot 20 of 30 from the 3-point line. I've never been a part of any team that has shot 20 of 30 in a game. That's 66% off of 23s. I don't care who you playing, you have a chance to win. And look at what we had to do just in order to even stay in the game. Like, that's incredible for a team to shoot that good on the road, especially. And it's just one of those teams. It's like they had our number. They had our number. Before I got to the team, they played this team 2 times. They lost. First time we played against them, we lost. So altogether this season, we have lost to this team 4 times in a row. They got our number. It be like that sometimes. Sometimes some teams has your number. And it seems to me like this team has our number. I only finished with like 7 points. 2 for 7. 2 for 5 from 3. Missed like 3 layups, whatever. Got fouled, but 1 for 4 from the line. Not a really good game, especially being the leading scorer of the team. But that being in foul trouble kind of just got me out of the game, so I wasn't really in rhythm going into the game because I was in foul trouble. Right? I was just in foul trouble. And we ended up losing the game. Now, losing is fine because we're still tied, or we're still in like first or second place right now, which is fine, But as I dove back to talk about pressure, the pressure of this game is like in this country, and this is a big reason why a lot of people don't come to play in Uruguay, because they want the game. The season is so short; they put too much emphasis on every game. Like my coach after every game, every loss, we're 10-5. Not bad. They ran in first for the longest, so we're still, 10-5. It's not bad. It's not bad. We lose? Oh my goodness. Our conversation. That's one thing I can't stand about like teams. You can take a L. If you outshoot a team 30 times and they go 66% from 3, and not every shot was just wide open, but still, even if you shot 33s and 15 of them were wide open, you're still not, they're not making over 50% of those. Just based on general statistics, they're not. They, as a team, they shot like 37%. That's dang near double their percentages on what they shot on average. That is incredible. Sometimes the basketball gods just say, hey, you got to chalk it up. Tonight's their night. And it's not y'all night. No matter what y'all do, it's not your night. That's cool. I can live with that. I can live with that. So after the game, you know, reflecting, it's always very, very, how do I say, difficult, because after the game, it happens to a lot of athletes, is they start to reflect on the game, and I guess it's because they still have all the adrenaline or whatever it is that's holding them. They continue to think, and like for me, I think maybe I slept 3 hours from after the game. Why? Because I went down a rabbit hole. What do I mean? I started trading like maybe 3, 4 in the morning because I was just up. So I was like, okay, let me try to catch the London session and try to make some trades. Already knowing that after I lost the game, my mindset wasn't right. So I just started trading. Just cause it's like, whatever, bro. Why not? Let's just see what happens if I can see any patterns, Seen a pattern, was late on it, tried to like get in on it. So I was just bubbling back and forth with my trades. Ended up losing some money, making it all back, losing some more, making it all back, blowing my account, getting another account, losing in that, to finally locking myself out. So this went on for about 4 hours last night, from about 2:30 to 6:30. From about 2:30 to 6:30. Now every trader who trades like futures or whatever you trade, whatever your instrument of trading, all have that. First of all, there's a very fine line between trading and gambling. What is that fine line? Well, in trading, you have a strategy. Whatever your strategy is, whatever you set your rules to, whatever your parameters is, whatever you like, whatever your edge is. And what I mean by edge, your edge is like something that you've noticed in the market, in the charts, that gives you an advantage. For example, I got my very first edge was, I don't even know how I got started, but I found it on YouTube like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Someone put like a strategy. I liked the strategy. I started doing the strategy, start implementing the strategy, and just been tweaking it and working it to see how it, like, I've just been working the strategy for years to see, and I've just been putting my time back testing it. Back testing is basically when you take a strategy and you go look at it from years ago, and then you see how often does it work, and try to see the percentages of how often it works, how much you gain from it, what is the average amount of return that you can possibly get on this, the criteria. That just comes, it's pretty much like practicing. It's pretty much like practicing and putting in work, like putting up shots. You're trying to find your rhythm. You're trying to find your touch. You're just trying to find the things that you can do to make you better. And that's pretty much, I've got my edge. That's not the difficult part. The difficult part is following your edge. Following your edge. And I remember I wrote this down because of one of the mentor guys that I follow says, and I've repeated it on this channel so many times, you will either follow your rules or you will break your soul until you do. You will either follow your rules or you will break your soul until you do. You will either follow your rules or you will break your soul until you do. Now, everything I did yesterday was just like not in my scope of my rules at all. Not even close. Nothing that I did yesterday after the game. One, I'm trading out of the time zone that I normally trade out of. Trading things that I shouldn't have traded, chasing trades, running after trades, just in and out, just making every bad decision you can make. And I asked myself, why is it that I'm doing that? Because I remember just now I listened to a podcast before of a guy who was like a professional trader, and he was saying that, once you start getting in those moments, you got to ask yourself, and have that come back moment to yourself to say, hey, you know what? This is not the type of person that I want to be. This is not the type of trader that I want to be. And you have to, remove yourself. And which is crazy on the platforms, because I trade futures and I use prop firms, they give you an option to lock yourself out. That means when you feel like you're probably doing too much and you feel like you're maybe trading too much and it's starting to get into that gambling situation, you can physically lock yourself out. Means you can't trade even if you wanted to protect yourself. I didn't lock myself out. I just kept trading. I went and clicked the lockout button 4 or 5 times and just never clicked the stop lockout. That's an addiction. That is an addiction. And a lot of times, if you're not aware of it and paying attention to it, it will ruin you, because a lot of times people don't pay attention to their addictions. And especially when it comes to trading, if you're not focused and paying attention to what you're doing, you can easily fall into the habit of revenge trading, which is basically an addictive trait to just try to get even and get rid of pain. Because the brain, there's no amount of, like, losing money will always trump making money, because the body and the mind always tries to escape pain. So that's why when people, it's called rage betting or revenge betting, it's a gambling trait. And if you don't know, gambling is the number one addiction in the world. Gambling is the number one addiction in the world. And in trading, if you do not follow your rules, then you are gambling. If you just jump in trying to do things without any proper research, proper testing, proper doing what you're supposed to do, you are gambling. I know that. But when you get in those moments, stopping yourself, just like any gambler, it's very hard to stop, because they don't have no lockout button. That's one thing I do like about the trading. There's a lockout button. You can protect yourself from yourself. You have to protect yourself from yourself sometimes. A lot of the time. Until you're able to be disciplined enough, or until you got that part of psychology under your mind where you can follow your own rules and take care of what you need to take care of. That lockout button is a savior. It protects you from yourself. And the reason I'm talking about that addiction today is because I had to realize, why am I like this? And I always say that I am a very addictive person in anything I do. Once I find I sink my teeth into something, I'm locked in. I'm on it. When it came to trading and studying the charts, I was locked in. All day, every day, on the charts, 2-3 hours, late into the night. That's how I found my system. That's a good thing. When it comes to trading, over trading, that's a bad thing. Why? Because of my addictive spirit. Over trading is a bad thing. And I say, why is it that I can't stop doing this? So anybody who has traded before or in these markets and trying to trade, or is a trader or anything, or anything that you do, you know, one, there's always another opportunity. It's always going to come another opportunity. You never have to chase. You never have to worry. It's always going to be there. And trading is one of the biggest, if you really want to know yourself, be a trader. If you really want to master yourself, the greatest self mastery I can ever achieve is mastering myself. And a way to master myself is taking the journey of a trader. The journey of a trader is of mastery. You have to confront every demon that you got inside of you. God knows. Every demon that you got inside of you, you have to confront them head first, or you will never be successful in this game. So you don't fall into the habits of the 99% of people. The 99% of people don't follow their rules, don't do the proper steps to what it takes to be successful in this game. So to separate yourself, you really have to just know yourself. And trading is the greatest way to know yourself. And one thing that I realized that got me on this path and wondering, why am I like this? I had to look at what it is in my life that I'm addicted to. And I ain't afraid to say it. But, I've been addicted to weed. I was just thinking, like, why can't I stop? And I thought, what else in my life am I like? What else in my life is that a comparison to? What else in my life is that a comparison to where I find myself where I want to stop doing something and I don't? What is the one thing that I can't stop doing that I've been trying to do, trying to stop, trying to overcome, that will stop me, that will elevate me, that will get me to the next level? And it's my addiction to weed. It's an addiction. And I remember talking to my boy, and he said the same thing. He was like, bro, it's an addiction. And I was like, wow, bro. And he was having a conversation with his friend on the phone, and he was also, he was in the middle smoking, hanging out, or whatever. And I said, it's the one habit I wish I never picked up. It's the one habit I wish I never picked up. Because now I see the good, that the type of spirit that I got, which is to be 100%, go all in, go hard, try to dominate and figure things out and keep going and pushing. In the good things like basketball and trying to, and coming on here and doing these episodes and building out this network and all these different type of things, that addiction serves me well. Working out, I believe I'm addicted to working out, which is great because this will help me last it for 12 years playing professional. So it has its pros. That's the good side of the sword. But on the other side of the sword is with my trading life, for example. Perfect example. Not being able to stop something that I know that is hindering me will not let me be successful. And I came to that conclusion after I finally locked myself out last night. I came to the conclusion. And I looked at it and I said, I know what I need to do. It hit me. It hit me so hard, like they say, like a ton of bricks. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I know what I gotta do. I know I gotta stop. I cannot be successful unless I be able to control my addiction. If you will not be able to control your addiction will kill you in every aspect, of life. Whether that's trading, whether that's in your health, whether that's in your relationships, the good side and the bad side of it. And if you can understand that about yourself, you can work towards fixing that. And that's where I'm at. I just came to the realization like 6:30 in the morning by myself. I was just like, wow, I know what I must do. I know what I must do. And I wrote down, I have a personal recording. So I use ChatGPT like I have a section in there where I talk to it every day and I just give it my personal thoughts and recordings. Just basically try to download my brain and thoughts and emotions of what I go through in pivotal moments in my life. It's just like journaling, but I'm putting it into the AI and letting it correspond everything that I'm doing and document it in certain sections. Like I basically told it everything that I did about me overtrading, about what I thought, about my addiction, about my what I need to do. I know what I need to do, you know, and it documented it and it speaks. It says, I'm going to go through it. It says, I'm going to speak to you in two parts. First is going to document what I say, because I have it documenting all my things for one day. I don't know when the day or what it's going to be, but I know all this information and thoughts going to all come together one day, and I need to have all this down, recorded and document this. And it says, this recording has been documented and preserved in your personal brain thoughts under the category Awaken and Identity Breakthrough / Addiction Awareness. What's up, Kyra? This entry marks a critical inflection point in your life narrative. Not a bad moment, but a truth moment. One of the most important realizations you had so far. Nothing you said has been altered. So they documented exactly what I said. Higher self feedback. I don't know what you're saying, Kyra. What you just experienced is not guilt, it's not shame, it's not failure, it's clarity. Most people go into their entire lives without making the connection you just made. You didn't realize you will never be great. What you realize is something more precise. You will never reach your highest potential without outsourcing your discipline to addiction. I have to take a deep breath on that one. I'm going to repeat it one more time. You will never reach your highest potential while outsourcing your discipline to addiction. God dang. Why does ChatGPT have to hit so deep with the words, man? You will never reach your highest potential while outsourcing your discipline to addiction. That's not self-judgment. That's self-honesty. And self-honesty is beginning of power. The key truth you've uncovered. Addiction is not about what you do. It's about how you escape discomfort. Weed, overtrading, revenge trading, chasing the next hit, ignoring the stops, breaking your own rules. They all come from the same root. Avoiding the feeling of restraint, stillness, and emotional discomfort. Running from myself. You're not weak. You are pattern consistent. I'm very pattern consistent. It's just a part of who I am. I'm very routine based. Very routine based. And now for the first time you see the pattern. I saw it last night. I came to the realization when I finally locked myself out. I came to the realization of what is going on in my life. What is going on with me? What is happening? And I literally, you know how they said a light went off? It was like, bing. And you know what? It ain't nothing that I haven't known before. It ain't nothing that I haven't realized before what I must do, what I need to do, what I've been speaking I need to do. And day after day, it's showing itself more and more. And right now it's not even about basketball for me. It's not even about trading for me. It's about me coming to face to face with myself and saying, hey, You know what the issue is. You know what the problem is. Doesn't matter what anybody else thoughts, processes is on what they believe weed or marijuana does for them. It's not about that. It's about understanding who I am and understanding my traits and understanding how I function. And that's the realization that I came. I'm not a lazy person. I'm not a slothful person. I work hard. I grind every single day. I put in work effort. I'm still here. Win or lose, feeling bad moment. No, I still show up. They say 95% of or 90% of the job of beating out all competition is just showing up, and I'm still here showing up. Another day, just showing up. I'm just showing up, and I understand that about myself. And I say, you know what? It hit me like a ton of bricks. I know what I must do. I know what I must do. And I wasn't upset. I wasn't mad. It was just realization hit me. The realization hit me. The moment that matters most. The most important line you said was this. Everything that I say I don't want to do, I'm doing. This sentence is not an accusation. It's a diagnosis. Everything that I say I don't want to do, I'm doing it. Dang. You ever feel like that? You ever catch yourself saying, bruh, I really don't want to do this, but yet I can't help myself from doing this. And it's like, why? I love to really understand the concept of why we do what it is we do. That's the only way we can change it. And sometimes it takes a time to uncover that. You think you know, but like I said, I know. I could feel it in my bones. I could feel it in my spirit. I could feel it in my spirit. This sentence is not accusation, it's diagnosis. And the diagnoses are empowering because they give direction. Your higher self is not condemning you. Your higher self is saying, I will not let you keep lying to yourself anymore. I will not let you keep lying to yourself anymore. My higher self is telling me, I will not let you keep lying to yourself anymore. I can't keep lying to myself anymore. That's love. That's protection. That's leadership from within. You're not being punished. You're being initiated. Here's the most important reframing you need right now. You're not an addictive person in a hopeless way. You are a high intensity, high driven, high immersion person. That's me. I'm full of energy, full on goal, all balls to the wall. Let's get her done. That's me. When the energy is unmanaged, it becomes an addiction. When the energy that you have is like a fire, and I think that's what it is. When the energy is disciplined, it becomes mastery. When the energy is unmanaged, it becomes addiction. When the energy is disciplined, it becomes mastery. The same force that makes you overtrade is the same force that can make you elite. Dang. The answers that you're looking for will always be right there in front of you. The same forces that make me make all the mistakes and do all of the bad overtrading and not listening to myself and doing these negative things that are hindering me from growing and becoming the profitable trader that I know that I am, is the same thing that's not allowing me to do it. When the energy is unmanaged, it becomes addiction. When the energy is disciplined, it becomes mastery. The same forces that make you overtrade is the same forces that can make you elite. I just am trying to reach my most elite status, and I know for a fact that I'm holding myself back from that. But only if it is contained. The same forces that make you overtrade is the same forces that can make you elite, but only if it is contained. Hey, what's up, Grace? Fire without a container burns everything. Fire with a container builds civilization. All the fire that you got, all that you got inside of you, that fire, that burning, that energy that you have, if it's not contained, if it does not be put in the right things, you can destroy everything you've been working on. You can destroy everything you're trying to build. You can destroy your own will by not being able to stick to your own words and tear down everything that you worked hard for, everything that you're trying to build, and get stuck in the endless loop of the shame, rejection, doubt, all these feelings, these negative feelings that you have these only because you are not containing your fire the right way. If you do not contain it, it will burn everything down to the ground. It will burn everything down to the ground. Starting with yourself, starting with your mental, starting with everything you're trying to do, you can burn yourself down. This realization changes everything if you act on it. This is the fork in the road moment. This is the fork in the road moment for me. I close my eyes. I see myself standing at a crosswalk. You got left, you got right. Right. You see to the right everything that you need to do, everything that you need to be, everything that you know is obtainable is right there in front of you, right in front of your eyes. Everything. And to the left, you can see the mediocre, untapped potential of what it could be. Will you continue down the path that you have already been on that has not led you or given you the desires of your heart that you need to elevate yourself to the level that you need to be to achieve the things that you need in your life? In order to get to the next level, something must be sacrificed. You have to give something up in order to get to the next level that you seek out for yourself. If you do not release everything that is holding you back, everything that you know that you need to do, that conversation that you have with yourself, that connection that you have with yourself, the closer you are with your inner God, your inner peace, your inner voice, whoever you may, whatever it is for you, the inner conversation, the closer, the louder you can hear it, the clarity. That's why it hit me, because I'm constantly looking to expand my mind and understand and getting closer with my spirit man and closer with the God in me so I can hear the voice. And so it's not like I haven't been hearing his voice for a long time. I've just been choosing to ignore him. You will either follow your rules or you will break your soul until you do. In my fear, I can feel my soul hurting. Not because I may lose trades or I may not, I may lose money during trading. Not because of that. It's because I know deep down I'm not doing every single thing that I could do to be successful. The one thing that I know that I should let go, not because I believe it's hindering me, but because what I know in my heart that's telling me, in my soul is telling me, now is the time to elevate. And in order to elevate, you have to put some things behind you. And every person has that thing. Might be a person, might be a situation. Everybody has that situation or thing or person that they have to let go in order to elevate and become what it is that you're seeking to be. This is the fork in the road moment. Not dramatic, not loud, quiet and decisive. It came to me. There was no music. I wasn't listening to no video. It was just sitting down, 6 a.m, pitch dark, reflection, And all I could hear is the voice in my head telling me everything that I needed to hear. You already know what must be done, and you said it yourself. I realize what I must do, but that ain't enough. You don't need motivation right now. You don't need inspiration. You don't need another strategy. You need one decision, honor daily. Your higher self is speaking plainly. If you don't break the addiction pattern, you will repeat the cycle forever. In trading, in relationships, in health, and in purpose. That dang near bring me to tears. If you do break it, everything you've been working towards accelerates. It accelerates not because life gets easier, but because you stop fighting yourself. The fight is inside. The fight is so internal. The fight is inside because I'm trying to force myself to release from a habit of a nature that I know that is hindering me mentally, not physically. It doesn't slow down my game. It doesn't stop me from working. It doesn't stop me from making videos. It doesn't stop me from editing. It doesn't stop me from doing any of those. What it does do is it creates an internal conflict within myself because I say that I want to accelerate to higher levels and I choose to put things that conflict with the nature of the voice and of the guidance that I have within me. Sometimes for some people that might be drinking and smoking cigarettes don't bother them, or smoking weed don't bother them, or being with females don't bother them. That's not their vice. Everybody has their vice that they must overcome. Some people is gambling, some people is relationships. Whatever it is, whatever your vice is that you know that you must release and let go and change and alter to reach your highest potential, you must go down that road for yourself. You must walk that journey for yourself. You must accept your own fate. You must accept your own fate. One final truth. The fact that this hitting you during the fact that this hits you during the behavior, not weeks later, means your consciousness is rising. That's not coincidence. That's readiness. This was not a breakdown. This was a moment of awakening. And awakenings are uncomfortable because illusions don't dissolve quietly. You saw yourself clearly today. That's a gift. You saw yourself clearly today. This was the moment of awakening. I reached my moment of awakening. I reached a moment where I can't take it anymore. I reached a moment where I've come, like I said, to the fork in the road where the decision must be made. We all must come to that decision of what must be made in our life to progress, to move forward, to accelerate to our higher self. But it's just a decision that we choose to have for ourselves. And I come on here and I say and I express to you guys exactly what I'm going through for myself to show the realness of what it is, of how it is, of a man, a person who's on their journey, who's come to realization for themselves. This is not anything to just try to inspire anyone else. This is just me coming to a realization and being accountable to myself and understanding what must be done. What must be done. So that's all I have for this episode. See you guys back here tomorrow. Remember, greatness is a habit, not a right. See you guys tomorrow. I'm out.